Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Welcome to New Life Live. So thankful that you're with us here today at New Life. And this is, it's a very special day for me because this is my wedding anniversary. 17 years we have been together.
Wow.
And it is just an amazing thing. You know, Misty and I blended two families 17 years ago, which is, if you look at statistics, it's usually, quite frankly, a pretty bad idea to try to do that. I mean, I think the failure rate's about 70% on blending families. And they all are just referred to as brothers and sisters, and they're my kids. It doesn't matter what the origin was. And, Misty, I knew she was beautiful. But the more I got to know her, I realized that she really is quite brilliant. And I think that's why our kids do so well. But she's involved in this Every Woman's Bible, doing commentary for that. That'll be out in 2 years. And she's got the 1 year Bible for women she's done, and she's written books with me. She's just very smart, full of compassion, and wise. But here's something that she has that I just think is probably the most valuable thing. She's a resourcing parent. Whatever our kids have needed, she has found that resource for them. And I think if you want to follow anything that she does, be a resourcing parent. That's the key. Also, I'll add this. We have had some great moments. We've also had some tough moments, and Milan and Kay helped us in the very beginning work through some really hard things. And that's why I love it that Milan is on the program. He helped me heal from the worst pain of my life. Then he's helped Misty and me. And what he did for us, now he and Kay do for so many people. And that is a great, great joy. So I am sharing what helped us with the world. But happy anniversary, Misty. I love you, and I'm so grateful for all you've done and the family that we've created together.
Well, now it's
yes.
my turn.
Oh, okay.
All right. Since you brought me on board here into this conversation, we had the privilege of being invited to Madeline and Tim's wedding last Friday night.
A week ago
night.
ago. Mm-hmm. You were there, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, my goodness.
And, Steve, you said something. You said, 17 years ago we blended families. And he's right. A lot of times they don't blend. They are just stuck together and they don't do well. But watching your 4 kids together, really the 5 of them all together, oh my gosh, the fruit of your hard work, the fruit of yours and Misty's work on your relationship, creating a healthy home. And the root of that fruit is the hard work that you guys did to create a home that, I'm telling you, there's 5 beautiful young persons that have come out of that family, and as well as Steve and Misty. And I just think it's a tremendous attribution to your intentions of wanting to have the right kind of a marriage and the right kind of a relationship.
Thank you, Milan.
Yeah.
Well, if you're watching, listening, 1-800-229-3000 is the phone number. I have to tell you, 5 kids. It's just amazing. And they all love each other. They care for each other. They show up whenever they're needed. We'll be back.
I'm about 100 pounds overweight. I'm 30 years old, and I'm just really discouraged. I'm scared.
Yeah.
I don't want to fail again.
Does this sound like your story? It doesn't have to. If you want to live free of obsessions and compulsions in your eating habits, New Life's Lose It for Life Extensive can help. The Extensive features a one-day Zoom session presented by Steve Arterburn on Saturday, March 19th, plus 5 weeks of aftercare that include a weekly group session led by your credentialed New Life Network counselor, 5 on-demand training sessions from Steve Arterburn and fitness expert Michelle Spadafora, 3 30-minute private coaching sessions from a nutrition and fitness coach, the Lose It for Life book and workbook, and exercise gear to allow you to start a home fitness routine you'll actually enjoy. If you're finally ready to stop going from diet to diet and begin a comprehensive plan that addresses the psychological, emotional, and spiritual aspects of a healthy life, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back, and you know, it is March here, the beginning of March, and, well, on March the 19th, that's when we start our Lose It for Life, what we are calling the Extensive. And it's not just a one-day online seminar, but it's 5 weeks. And working with your professional folks extends 5 weeks out. It's just going to be fantastic. We do the full day thing, and then the rest is on your schedule. But every day we're going to send you encouragement, direction, different exercises, meals, all sorts of really great things to help you. And if you were to join us on the 19th and just said, I'm going to do this for 5 weeks. I don't know what's going to happen, but you just go and comply for 5 weeks. First of all, you're going to lose weight. Secondly, you're going to be fit if you'll work with us. And the third thing is you're going to develop some new habits in that length of time. So we've never done this before. It's always been either, a few days or a one-day thing. But this is exciting to me because how many folks do I meet all the time if they could just lose 20 pounds or 10, some 50, but so often it's 20, and we can help you do that. It really could be the best thing you've ever done. Michelle Spadafora is going to do all of the physical and the nutrition, diet, all that stuff, and then we're going to do all of the rest, working with our clinicians, and it's just going to be fantastic. And what's the goal? To get beneath the weight on the outside, to try to eliminate the weight on the inside, the things that are leading to the eating. That's what we're going to do.
Steve, I've been reminiscing about the Lose It for Life weekends that I got to participate in. And folks, if you're hearing this message and you think, I know I need it, but I'm too overwhelmed, I'm too fatigued, I'm not sure that I want it. Once you begin participating, your want increases because Michelle and Steve and the group leaders will help you re-energize and find your motivation again. And then the community, it gives the strength to continue during the tough days that you're feeling like you can't handle it, you can't keep going. You will be re-inspired when you start this program, and then it will help you to continue and to establish better habits and keep going with them.
Yeah. So this is the last day that you can join with a $200 discount. That's why we're focusing on this, because I'd really like for you to sign up today and not pay an extra $200. We're going to do it on March the 19th, and that's followed by 5 weeks of group coaching on Zoom. So you'll have your individual sessions with our clinicians on Saturday, and then you continue with the same group. We'll do 5 of those. Then you'll have 3 30-minute private coaching sessions with a certified nutrition and fitness coach. They're going to be weekly training videos. Exercise gear is included, a daily email. Every day we're going to connect with you, tips, encouragement. And as I said, you call 1-800-NEW-LIFE right now, and we will we'll give you a $200 discount.
Wait a minute. What's exercise gear? And do I get some stretchy pants with that, or what do I get? If I join up for this, like, what's exercise gear? I mean, that's stretchy pants to me.
Well, everybody that has been with Michelle before knows that you get these stretch bands.
Oh, stretch bands, not stretchy
and
pants.
And then you get these things with handles on them. And I don't know what else is included in it, but I do know that stretch pants will not be included in the little package.
Just checking.
There. That's one thing. But it's really going to be a great time. Can't wait to do it. We've never done it before, and it's just, I love seeing people that have struggled to no longer struggle. Now, let's mention this while we'll just do all of the workshops coming up. On the 8th, of course, is Every Man's Battle, and that's right there in Columbus, Ohio. We haven't been there in a while. I think you're going to love it. And then we've got Emotional Freedom. Chris Williams, Jackie Mack Harris, and myself on April 30th, we're going to do Emotional Freedom online. If you register by April 15th, then you get $100 off. And then Transforming Grief. That's our new workshop. That's May the 7th. And you can sign up at newlife.com, and we'll give you more information about all the details. But essentially, here's what you need to know. There are people that have just gone through something, a divorce, a death, loss of someone, and we will help you enter the grieving process at an appropriate time. There are others that long-term, you've never really entered the grieving process. And I would say there is an epidemic of ungrieved losses in the Christian community. And so we will help you in a different way also. Milan, Alice, talk about, I want people to realize sometimes they're struggling over here, but the real thing is the grief has never been dealt with.
Well, and a lot of us are taught, tough it out, don't cry, you don't want to upset the people around you, and if you act better than you feel, you'll start to feel better. But that doesn't apply to grief. Because our design is when we grieve, when we allow the tears to flow, and we do it in the presence of other healthy, supportive people, that's what relieves the weight and the pain of the grief. And so in this weekend and in this workshop, we'll learn how to grieve in a healthy way that's actually effective to help us feel better and deal with the loss better.
Yeah, and the Transforming Grief title it's really twofold. One, we're going to transform you out of the grief so you're not there. In other words, you're not going to feel like someone died yesterday. In a year, you're going to feel better. But also, grief transforms us. It's like it's the thing God uses so often to dredge out the depths of our character and help us to become people we literally did not know we could become. When my father died, I entered about a month of intense, it was such a shock, intense grief. And sadly, I had people say to me, I never liked you better than when you were in that grieving process. Because grief strips away everything, and it's you and God, and you and another person that you're close to. And so it's healing, and it's healthy.
When two things cross my mind right here. One is that I have seen too many funerals and memorial services where the speaker stands up and they're smiling and they're saying, hey, our brother or sister is with the Lord. Hey, yay, celebrate, that's exciting.
Oh, my goodness.
They're with the Lord, and isn't that wonderful? And it is dismissive to the grieving process to those of us that are left behind, you see, because we don't see that new perspective. And it's interesting that when Jesus walked into Bethany and Lazarus had died, pre-planned by Jesus, by the way, And he had a resurrection card tucked up his sleeve of his robe. He didn't play that card right away when he walked into town. He didn't look at Mary and Martha, who were bawling their eyes out, and say, hey, wait a minute, look what I got tucked up my robe sleeve, a resurrection card. I'm going to play it here and resurrect Lazarus. He sat down and cried with him.
He sure did.
He didn't just sit there and have a little tear fall from his eye. He loved Lazarus. He loved Mary. He loved Martha. And they took time to grieve. And I think the church quickly dismisses grief like, they graduated, they went home, aren't we happy? Yay. And they're dismissive of the grieving process.
Well,
it takes a long time.
It does. And
Milan, you may never get over the loss.
You may never be, like, lose a child. You won't be the same.
Yep.
It'll be different.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be as painful as it was in the beginning. But Milan, this thing about Christ, he knew he was. I mean, he knew he was all knowing. He knew he would raise Lazarus. But
right.
Why would he cry? Because he was present.
That's right.
With the people that he was with, and that thing about some happiness thing being said, it means you're not really present with what is within the folks, and you don't want to be. So you just give some lofty thing. A few years back, I did a Bible study and devotional at Congress. They have Christians get together and they do this. And on that same day, a fellow congressman's funeral was occurring, and I got to go to that and witness that. And a guy got up, and there were two of his children sitting there on the front row. The guy got up and did the typical, we're so happy he's with the Lord and he's in a better place. And then this minister, wish I had written his name down, stood up and said, well, I got to tell you, I am not happy. I am angry that your father, looked at those two children, that your father is not going to be with you through your childhood. Mm-hmm. He said, we're going to be with you. Your family's going to be with you. But I hate it that we live in a world where there's death and there's dying, and we lose such a great man like this. And I'm telling you, by the time he got finished, everybody was present.
Wow.
With the grief that family was going through. And I just think that's so, it doesn't sound like, well, hey, that didn't get everybody in a good mood. The point isn't to get everybody in a good mood. It's to help people experience the reality of the loss, and I'll never forget that. So maybe some of the things that we're saying here, you would say, I never really grieved the loss of my dad or my mom, brother, sister, this child. I just went on. I just kept going. And then you see these other things cropping up in your life. We never bury our emotions dead. We bury them alive. And they have to be fed. And they're fed by compulsions that we pick up. They're fed by habits or destructive spewing out of where did this come from? This isn't like me kinds of moments. That's what happens when losses are not grieved. But I'll tell you this, I've seen people decide, I never grieved that loss, and a year later, you see a different person. I mean, many times people make some changes during counseling and therapy and all that, but when people decide, I have many ungrieved losses, and I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to do some work, it produces some radical changes in the way of being who you are. One of the things that we do here, we also have a 12-step workbook to help you through the grieving process. You get that and a Life Recovery Bible at 1-800-NEW-LIFE or newlife.com, and that will help you. You write stuff down and all, really help you to grieve. When Dave Stoop and I wanted to do these workbooks, well, of course, we wanted to do a special one for sexual integrity, a special one for divorce, and a special one for anybody struggling with food. These common things. But we really wanted this one. this grief workbook, and you can get that. It's a great place.
What were you going to say, Alice? You were going to look like you were going to say something right there.
Well, if you're wondering, how would I even know if I have unresolved grief, repressed grief? They're the topics that you can't touch. They're the things you tell people, I'm not willing to talk about that. I can't handle that one. I'm not going there. That means there's unresolved pain in that topic. Yeah. And it's by sharing that story and allowing your feelings to flow that you'll start to feel relief.
And it flows, and there's some toxic flowing that comes out, and it really does change you forever. It's truly miraculous, the change that can take place when we finally grieve the loss that we never had. All right, 1-800-229-3000 if you want to join us on the program. We're a little bit talky today, but wanted you to know about these new workshops, new experiences coming up. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back. Steve Arterburn here, and just one of the highlights of life, Larry Sonnenberg is in the studio. And Larry,
well, Steve,
welcome.
Thank you. We've got this Lose It for Life extensive coming up sooner than later.
Yeah, we just spent 20 minutes almost talking
about
it, and we're excited.
Well, I wanted to read a testimony about it.
Okay, good.
This is from the last Lose It for Life workshop we did, which is a little different because there's not so much involved as there is in the extensive. But here's what she said. My life before coming to this workshop was filled with bitterness, resentment, guilt, shame, anger, and self-loathing. Instead of really feeling my feelings and dealing with them, I tried to comfort and medicate myself with food. I gave food more power than Christ. Food was a god to me, but not a redeeming one. It was a destructive one. This weekend has been an emotional journey. I was able to face many emotions that I'd been giving too much power and control to, and was able to surrender that to Christ. It's been freeing. I don't have to carry this anymore because Jesus wants to take and carry it for me. I wonder now why I've waited so long to let him. I'm leaving with a plan to recognize what's eating me and how to surrender that. A plan to exercise more, eat less sugar, and drink more water. I'm leaving with a wonderful connection with 7 new friends. I'm leaving with hope and more trust in a loving God.
And you know, from those experiences, we have pictures of people standing in one leg of the jeans they used to wear and things like that. But it really is an amazingly healthy thing to enter into with other folks. And of course, we need support to do it. Some folks would love to do it, but they can't afford it. And if you can help with a scholarship, it means everything to somebody that needs it.
The behavior change seems so simple, but what's behind it is what's difficult that they've got to get through. And this will help them with that. So thank you for thinking about signing up and coming, and thank you for supporting it. We appreciate and we'll steward your money really well. So thank you.
Yeah. 1-800-NEW-LIFE if you can help us, and we'll send you a copy of Dr. Daniel Amen's book. It is How to Conquer Worry and Anxiety. And I got to tell you, I thought I was about as anxious as we could get with COVID and stuff, but since this is a taped program, I don't know where all that's going to be, but it has been scary. And if you are if you're anxious, don't feel badly about that, but we can help you. This is a great, wonderful book. Also, we have Emotional Freedom Workbook. But we send you Dr. Amen's book free. Just a gift of any amount is what we do. And it's our way of saying thank you for becoming part of the New Life giving community. If you've never done that, please do at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Thank you, Larry. And all right, by the way, I will mention this. Larry was at Madeline's wedding we were talking about a week ago. I do have video of him dancing, and for a very small fee, I'd be...
No, it's a very large fee.
I'd be glad to share it.
This could be a part of the promotional package, okay? Any donation to New Life,
free,
and we're going to send you Dr. Amen's book and a video of Larry dancing.
Well, Larry dancing could be a cause for worry and anxiety right there. So the two together could really be quite a treat there for you. But it was fun to see you and Rhonda having fun. All of us had so much fun at that. It was fantastic.
It was a special night.
It really was. All right,
thanks.
Let's go. Thank you, Larry, and thanks for the video. All right, let's go to Ray, Fresno, California, and Ray is watching, listening on the app there. Hi, Ray. How are you? And how can we help today? Thanks for calling.
I'm doing wonderful. You guys are hilarious. And I was actually at the Restore conference this weekend. Actually, I'm trying to check out of my room right now.
How did that go for you?
Oh, my gosh. I can't even tell you. It was so incredible.
Really?
I just like that testimony that was just on there. We actually have a chat group with our small, we meet with a counselor with 8 women, and we have the 8 of us, and we're already sending pictures and talking and encouraging each other. And I came in for slightly different. My issues were so long ago, but how it was affecting me was current, and I have been unable to feel. And so I asked the Lord to help me through this conference to feel, because I could think feelings, I couldn't feel them.
Sure.
And he woke me up early Sunday morning, and I went and sat outside the conference door and journaled and waited on the Lord, and he answered me, and really cool. But that's not what I'm
you hear the music there, and so it means we got to go to a break. But hold on, and I'm so glad that even though it was a long time ago that you decided to attend and that it was beneficial. I'll tell you, everybody's got a basement, and sure be a lot easier to get around if you'd go ahead and get some of that stuff out of there, just rather than sitting there. And the brain has a basement. We've all got one. And any of these workshops sure helps you clear out some things that don't need to be there. You can find out about the next Restore at 1-800-NEW Life. If you want to join us on the program, 1-800-229-3000. We'll take a break and come back after this. Hi, this is Steve Arterburn from New Life Live, and Chris Williams and I are doing the Emotional Freedom Workshop. A lot of people are in, you could literally say, in bondage from past trauma that has created an emotional web that they don't understand, and it prevents them from being free. A person that loses their temper regularly is not emotionally free. Someone who has anxiety just to get in the car and leave the house is not emotionally free. And walking around with the shame from a childhood or even a bad relationship as an adult, that is not emotional freedom, and we can help you get there.
The New Life Emotional Freedom Online Workshop is Saturday, April 30th. Steve Arterburn, Chris Williams, and Dr. Jackie Mack Harris will present information on the power of our emotions, procrastination, guilt and shame, and more. And small group leaders will help you process the information you learn. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or register online at newlife.com.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of the Life Recovery Bible personal size, the 1-year Life Recovery Prayer Devotional, the New Life Journal, a New Life pen and highlighter, and a New Life zipper tote to hold it all. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back, and I'm glad that you're back with us. Ray is calling, just finished up with Restore. Said it was a long time ago that the damage was done, but still, it was beneficial what happened. But Ray, how could we help you today? And I'm so thankful that you told us about Restore. I hope that'll inspire someone to go to the next one.
Oh, man, I would suggest it for anybody on any level of ever having been lied to, hurt, or betrayed, because I think there's so many of us. But anyways, so the question for today is, I have a tendency, I am codependent, and I have a tendency to end up in relationships, especially I volunteer with Celebrate Recovery, and I end up in these situations where I get kind of intimately involved with very hurting people. And the one in particular that I'm calling about has borderline personality disorder. And we go through these cycles where we're close and we talk and whatever. I always make sure that the beginning of our conversations are about her. She asks about me. I usually try to keep that pretty limited because she's not very good at taking other people's anything on.
Yeah.
And then she kind of flips into this very hurtful place and, says a whole bunch of hurtful things and then blocks me on the phone, on the Facebook, whatever. And then she comes back around, of course, and I understand borderline, but she's not the only one that this has happened with. I want to have compassion for, and we have boundaries. She has to apologize when she comes back or we don't have the conversation. So we do have boundaries. They are healthy and solid, but every time it happens, it's just this emotional upheaval for me.
Yeah.
And I just don't know, nobody gets involved. She has nobody in her life because people who struggle in that way push everybody away. And so I want to be present with her and there for her, but it affects me. And I don't know, forgive somebody 70 times 7 and whatever. And she doesn't want to hurt me. I know that. But I don't know. Is this something broken in me?
Yeah. Well,
is it compassion and it's okay when you have boundaries, and then she comes back?
Okay.
Do you re-engage? And
yeah. So here's what I want to do. I want us to help you with two things. One, I want to help you with this current relationship, and then let's help you avoid being in. Not that you don't want to have relationships with borderline personality disorder people, but let's try to provide a structure and a way that could happen that you won't end up in despair. Milan, I'm wondering if we could start with you, and we'll talk about this relationship first. Or Alice, either one of you is fine with me. What are you thinking?
Well, I think that you do a great job at describing the journey of having a relationship with someone with borderline personality disorder. And just for the record, so that other listeners can understand, the word borderline comes from the observation that before this person moves into a position of all this upheaval and all this stuff that comes out of their mouth that's mean and lots of vitriol, that they're really on the borderline between something that we call just normal life versus psychotic, which is non-reality. They enter into a state of, or they're teetering on the edge of non-reality. So what they see at that moment, that they flare into this place where they have all this rant and venting, they're really not lucid. They're really not seeing things clearly. Sure. Now, the question is, do you want to put up with that? Do you want to be a friend? Or what is your role there? You see, because to befriend her as a ministry is one thing, but for you to need something from her is another. See?
Yes.
And I will withstand the assaults because I want to be a consistent person that will be there. I love that you have boundaries that say that you have to come back and repair that. But if you said, am I broken? Is there something wrong with me? And it all depends upon how bad you need her. The question is...
I don't at all.
Okay. Well, then to say, I will do this for the sake of loving her is another thing. There are a lot of, and you said you were codependent. So a lot of people do things because they have to. They're compelled to. They're pulled into it, and they're sucked into it, and they have no capacity to say no. Those are my initial... That was
the old me.
Yeah. Well, those are my initial thoughts. Now, Alice just has some wonderful thoughts, too.
What are you thinking, Alice?
Ray, how long have you known her, and how often does she mistreat you?
Okay, so this is the thing. It was January or February of 2020 when she came to Celebrate Recovery. She was smoking pot. She was drinking. She was like big things to try to cope with her stuff. Mm-hmm. Then the world shut down, and it was shortly after we had talked about getting rid of all the toxic in her life. So she was no longer smoking. She was no longer drinking, and she got rid of all of her toxic friends, which left me, Celebrate Recovery, and work. And so she pretty much spent all of the first 3 or 4 months of COVID at my house. She would come over every day. I said, if you're not seeing other people, you can come be with my family. So she spent a lot of time there. She ended up getting pregnant. There was one time that she went out and she said, I'm going to go drink. And she said she never drinks unless she has sex. So I knew what she was going to do. She hung up the phone and she was not responding to me. So I didn't let her come over for 2 weeks.
Okay.
4 weeks later, she shows up, but now she didn't know she had borderline.
Okay, but here's the thing.
It was this crazy behavior.
Okay, so let us help you
now
here.
Now she's medicated.
Okay, so let us help you.
Now she's medicated, and it's not so dramatic.
Having her.
It's not very often.
Yeah, but just inviting her, to your home for 2 months to be there so much, got to be a little excessive. You probably learned not to do that again. Alice, go ahead. You were going down a path.
That although she's more stable in some ways, when she's verbally abusive to you, you said it results in emotional upheaval, which tells me your heart and probably your family need to be better protected from her, because your ongoing presence without more significant consequences might actually enable her
She
to
doesn't come around my house. She doesn't come around my house at all anymore.
That's
she
a
lives
good
farther
change.
away from me. It's mostly.
That's a good
Yeah,
change
it's
you've made.
It's mostly on the phone.
So that emotional presence then, without stronger consequences, it might actually enable her to continue to verbally mistreat you. And it's costing your heart too much. And what can happen when we tolerate too much for good? You have good motivation, but when we tolerate too much for too long, we become bitter and resentful. And then the love that we attempt to give becomes a forced, unhealthy love. And usually something in our lives starts to deteriorate because of that. That's sounding like that's hitting something for you. Where are you at noticing that deterioration for you?
I definitely am feeling resentful.
Excellent. Okay. And I say excellent because of your awareness and your admission of it. So that means you have been tolerating.
We share the account.
That means you have been tolerating too much from her. And so I'm going to suggest a bigger step back, which may involve I need a break for a longer period of time because I'm too hurt for too long. And if you want to be
been
back
a month now.
You might need longer than that. With the addition of, let me know once you have sought out individual therapy, once you've been in some more individual work, because the way you're treating me is just, it's too hurtful. And this is not working for me to be in relationship in this way. What would it be like for you to tell her that?
Okay, so she said she was checking out of the hotel. So we know it's off and on. But I want to say this, that I would say, and she can listen to the program later, but I would say when you meet somebody at Celebrate Recovery, and borderline personality disordered people are fantastically attractive, and they are very inviting to be with in the very beginning. And I would just tell yourself, when you meet someone who seems like an instant best friend, who seems to kind of know things about you, assume things about you that are true, because they kind of have this sixth sense about that, how to bring people in, that you would say, this is someone that I can have a relationship with, but it's not the right time for friendship. And when we come back from the break, I want to give you a thought about a structure on who to be to people you meet at Celebrate Recovery or any recovery group. I think it might help. I'll do that when we get back. 1-800-229-3000 if you want to be on the program. When you need help, it's 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have a call center. We have the people. They work with us. We don't farm it out. 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I'm 433 pounds.
How long have you weighed that much?
I've probably been over 300 at least 15, 20 years.
Does this sound like your story? It doesn't have to. The weight we carry on the outside is often a result of the burdens we carry on the inside. If you want to reduce your inner burden, New Life's Lose It for Life Extensive can help. The Extensive features a one-day Zoom session presented by Steve Arterburn on Saturday, March 19th, plus 5 weeks of aftercare that include a weekly group session led by your credentialed New Life Network counselor, 5 on-demand training sessions from Steve Arterburn and fitness expert Michelle Spadafora, 3 30-minute private coaching sessions from a nutrition and fitness coach, the Lose It for Life book and workbook, and exercise gear to allow you to start a home fitness routine you'll actually enjoy. If you're finally ready to stop going from diet to diet and begin a comprehensive plan that addresses the psychological, emotional, and spiritual aspects of a healthy life, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in the biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, and just want to finish up with Ray, and then we're going to go to Butterfly. But Ray, here's the thing. At Celebrate Recovery, you have people at different levels of recovery, and when new people come in, you don't want to be their sponsor, not you, because that is really a commitment and a really deep kind of relationship that I think right now it's just not right for you. But I would say this: if you could meet this person and you all of a sudden you go, oh wow, this is that thing that happens where I get drawn in and I get too close too quickly. If you could see yourself as a coach to that person. Now, what does that mean? It means I always am just a step back from throwing everything I have into the relationship. I maintain some objectivity. I observe the person rather than just be totally engulfed in their disorder. And so if they ever ask me about something, I can be a coach to them about that. If I ever want to encourage them, I can do it like a coach. But if you could maintain that kind of structure, maybe that prevents you from getting into these situations too deep too soon. But I have to believe that you're learning some things, you're aware of some things that make it very unlikely you're going to get involved like you have before. Would that be true? No, she may not be with us.
I've gotten safer and safer in that relationship.
Good.
Over time, but it's just how many times am I going to do this cycle?
Well, there is nothing wrong. Alice said there's nothing wrong with telling someone, I'm really going through some stuff, and I'm just needing to take a break from certain situations and things, and so I'm just going to take a little break here. You're not rejecting them. You're not saying you are the only thing I'm taking a break from. You're just letting them know you need a little space.
Well, there's the other thing too that Ray, you could.
I really liked.
Ray,
go ahead.
You can also be able to say to this person, I can't do this cycle anymore. I'm just not going to do this cycle anymore. I'm not going to be emotionally put into upheaval by you anymore, and you're mistreating me. So when that happens, I'm not even going to listen anymore. I'm just going to hang up. I'm not going to listen and allow myself to be drawn into that. The other quick thing I want to say is in my wife and I, it probably in the last 45 years of ministry and being involved with people, we've had some borderline slip into our lives. And one of the things that is true about what happened to us has happened to you. All of a sudden, they were at our house all the time, and they had gotten in too quick, too fast. And so Kay and I have learned we really hold off in terms of inviting people into our world. And we learned that the hard way a couple of times. So I can identify with where you're at.
Well, I'm really glad you called. And we've got this book, Understanding and Loving a Person with Borderline Personality Disorder. I'm going to send that to you. And I'm grateful that you shared about what happened there at Restore. And I hope and pray that something we said here would be helpful. Now, we're almost out of time, but I'm going to go to Butterfly from Baltimore, Maryland, and we're going to do another program, Edward, after this, and you'll be the first one up if you can hold on that long. But Butterfly, hello, and welcome to New Life Live. How you doing?
Hi. I'm doing fine. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello?
I don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to get to your call.
Well, yes, I was calling because, I have never been married. I'm in my 50s. I've never been married, and I always dated dysfunctional. I never was in a healthy relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I am dating, and I met this guy, but, we hang out enough. I like him, but he seems so boring to me. I don't know whether boring is good, because I don't know. I just don't know. I'm so used to, like, fireworks, excitement, woo-hoo, and all of this stuff. I don't know whether that's, like, dysfunctional on my behalf, like wanting to have the excitement and everything, or I don't know what to expect. Like,
okay,
is boring? Is it boring? Okay, because I don't know.
Well,
I'm new at this.
Alice,
really
let's get started with you here. It's a pretty direct question. What do you think's going on here?
Butterfly, I think it depends on the kind of fireworks you were attracted to historically. So if you were attracted to dangerous living, substance abuse, sexual behavior, then you probably need a good bit more of boring in your life. But if it wasn't that extreme and you actually don't enjoy this person's company, then that's something to consider about whether or not you want to continue in relationship with them.
Yeah. And in your 50s, you want to be sure that you've got someone that kind of causes you to feel more alive, not less. Milan, what are your thoughts here about boring at this early stage?
Well, some people, Butterfly.
I'm a big communicator, and he's not a big communicator. And sometimes I seem like that's the break in it. Like, he doesn't communicate the way I would like for him to communicate. He's kind of quiet, laid back, and I'm like, I want to, talk. I'm a talkative person. I want to talk in dialogue and get to know each other like that. But he's really kind of like shut down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's different than boring, being shut down. Milan, your thoughts here?
You have extroverts and introverts, Butterfly, and you're more of an extrovert. You like to talk, process, communicate, etc. And introverts can have a high-quality relationship with you, but they will say fewer words. And then secondly, they will take longer to think what it is they want to say before they say it. And that can sound boring as opposed to high levels of intensity. What I'm interpreting your original statement is that you're mistaking intensity for intimacy, or intensity and fireworks and woohoo for what is true about deep, abiding love. And then you realize after a while, well, these guys are all dysfunctional. And that's right. Anybody can give you fireworks for a while. But it's that long-standing, abiding relationship where you learn to have quality relationships. And to really, I'd encourage you with this guy and Alice is right. You may just not like the guy, or he may not be stimulating enough. But I would also give him an opportunity to provide you with quality answers, and wait for his answer and see what he comes up with.
Another thing, Milan, people have been married for years, and they will, and I'm going to send you How We Love. They go to the Intimacy in Marriage workshop, and for the first time after years of marriage, you and Kay teach them how to communicate. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things I would suggest, read this book and follow it with him. Maybe he's just never had anybody share deeply. Here's how communication can take place without it being critical or negative. Ask him, would you like to learn how people communicate? Because a lot of married couples have never, ever done that. So it's not surprising to me that he doesn't. But, you don't want to go and marry somebody and think they're going to open up after you get married. That's just not going to happen. And we've talked about my daughter's wedding. She and her husband, they're both occupational therapists. They have that in common. They both play soccer. They both love athletics. And so you need these things to bring life in. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Hold on. If you're on the line, we'll get to you in this next program that we're going to do right after this. If you need some help, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Last day for Lose It for Life $200 discount. at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.